It's the Parish Council meeting dated Wednesday the 13th of May 2026. The agenda has previously been circulated, is available on the website, and we will start with item 1, which is a declaration of acceptance of office of all councillors, all re-elected councillors to sign a declaration of acceptance, which you have been distributed, about to be distributed, and we need to return these forms by the 4th of June. Thank you.
I need to witness them in silence, so now would be better than...
Okay. Thank you, Victoria.
Ready?
Okay, so here we go. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the election of a chair to the Parish Council for the period 2026-2027. We've received an email from the chair, Leslie Brazel, from 2025-2026, that she would like to be considered as chair for 26-27. Is there anybody else around, any other councillors who would like to be nominated as chair or would like to put themselves forward as chair? No. Do I have a proposer for Leslie to be appointed as chair? Proposer 1, Chris, seconded by Dan. Show of hands, all in favour. Leslie Brazel will be elected as chair for 2026-2027. Next item is to elect a vice chair. I am happy to be considered as vice chair for 26-27. Does it? Do I have a proposer? Thank you, Dan. A seconder. All in favour? So thank you very much. I will continue to be vice chair. Next item on the agenda is to consider co-option to fill vacancies. There are 7 councillors allowed on council, 5 of which were appointed in an uncontested election. So we have vacancies for 2. We've received we've been approached by 2 former councillors, as at the time of speaking, in Claire Millington and Oliver Birstall. Can I have a proposer for Claire to be appointed as co-opted, and seconded by Chris? All in favour? Thank you. And a proposer for Ollie Birstall to be co-opted as well, proposed by Chris, seconded by Janine. All in favour? So we welcome Ollie and Claire to council, and we are a full group of 7. Apologies and reasons for absence. We have received an apology from Leslie. Next item on the agenda is a declaration of interest. As you can see from the agenda, it says to receive declarations of disclosable pecuniary and other interests. Have we received any, Victoria?
Yes, we received one from Chris Bales.
Okay, thank you. To receive written requests for the new disclosure pecuniary interest dispensations.
Or is that?
I think that will probably be that. And whilst that's been being checked, all new councillors must complete the Register of Members' Interest form and return it to the clerk no later than, it says the 31st of May, but we'll revise that to the 21st of May. So those forms will be completed before close of business today. Do you want to just advise on the...
So, Councillor Christopher Bales has completed a dispensation request form for all items pertaining to the employment or HR in general, and he will not authorise any payments raised by the clerk or RFO, as I am his wife, and employed as the parish clerk and RFO, and this persists from April 26 until April 2030. Dispensation required to partake in the discussion of items in principle but not matters pertaining to the clerk's employment. I will abstain from any votes pertaining to the clerk's employment for the avoidance of any perceived or actual conflicts of interest. And that was received on the 6th of April.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris. Over the page, the appointment of councillors to working groups. The clerk has shared a list of working groups, and we are advised to get back to the clerk by the 10th of June as to whether they want to be considered or in terms of joining one of those working groups. Open section. In accordance with the standing orders, a period of up to 15 minutes is made available to members of the public to speak and raise any questions. Do we have any questions from the members of the public? Yes, please.
Somewhat a question, just pointing out that we're here and can answer any questions about the planning application that will be coming up.
Very clear. Thank you very much. Thank you. The next item is the approval of minutes. There's two sets of minutes to approve, which I have in front of me, and I will sign at the end of the meeting. There's one for an extraordinary meeting on the 26th of March. Do I have a proposal that those meetings are adopted? I think that's...
So that means people who were present.
So the people present on the 26th of March were Leslie, myself and Janine. So we still can't do those meeting notes. Okay. Fine, we'll defer that to the following meeting then. And the next set of minutes to approve is the ordinary meeting on the 8th of April, which I wasn't present, but do I have a proposer to adopt those meetings as...
Yeah.
True and accurate. Thank you, Dan and Janine. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is a report from HDC Councillor. Have we received a report from Ian Gardner?
We have not other than what we've just received in the other meeting.
In the other meeting, which I will check after whether we will incorporate that report, but it seems fair that it will be. Next item is a report from the Cambridge... Sorry, I've got that the wrong way around. Jonathan for HDC and Cambridge County Council is for Ian.
Nothing from either.
Nothing from either, okay. A clerk's report on general updates.
That came around very quickly.
Sorry,
Okay.
it's getting a little bit...
Okay. Just a little introduction, because I haven't spoken too much so far. So I took up the role of clerk very much in medias res. So I joined the council immediately before the elections and an imminent internal audit, which are both significant points in the civic calendar. With only a limited handover and unforeseen circumstances shortly after I started, I had to get up to speed quickly with the council's day-to-day business. While challenging, this provided a practical introduction to the breadth of the clerk's responsibilities and to the resilience of the council's government arrangements. During this transition, I have been very grateful for the support of councillors. Their guidance and willingness to assist have been invaluable in maintaining continuity and helping me settle into the role. I am particularly indebted to the Vice Chair for his support with the finance side of things, and I'm also grateful to the Chair for her continued support and advice. I am delighted that she will remain on the Council. Beyond the day-to-day administration of Council business, I have also been working on a number of areas of development. In preparing for the forthcoming audit, I identified a need to strengthen the Council's digital presence, including organising electronic records and reviewing website content to ensure it is accurate, accessible and up to date. This work is ongoing as part of wider improvements to administrative arrangements and communication with residents. I have also been coordinating the Council's communications with various agencies regarding land clearance adjacent to junction 16 of the A14, receiving information from concerned residents and ensuring it is passed to the relevant authorities. Having worked in publishing and content delivery for 22 years, I have been very keen to focus on how the Council communicates information and how this can be made as clear and user-friendly as possible. I have introduced new layouts for key documents. You may already have noticed changes to agendas and minutes. And I will continue improving how the Council presents information so that residents can more easily follow and engage with its work.
Thank you, Victoria, and perhaps I should have said at the beginning, welcome, and we're very pleased with progress that's made so far and your resilience and your tenacity to get things done. Let's go to the next section, which is planning, which, Chris, could you just give us a very brief update, please, on the North Huntingdon Growth Cluster Working Group? I know you've circulated the report, but just a few words would be appreciated.
Yeah. There's been a lull between meetings. There is another meeting on the 20th of May where they're looking to set up the officers of an organisation to expand the remit of what they're doing there. They did send a very brief report to us that discussed the first of the big industrial units, lorry parks, on the A141, so that's the other side of the A1 from here, towards Huntingdon proper. That has been approved, narrowly approved, but approved nonetheless. So that will go ahead. But there are a lot of other opportunities to come in around Huntingdon and as far as St Ives, Alconbury, all that kind of area. So all is not lost. We will continue to keep an eye on all of the developments in and around our parish.
Great. Thank you for your commitment to continue going along and representing the interests of Catworth. This next subheading that we have is the Planning Advisory Group. There's two definitive items that are listed on the agenda. One, which we have the owners present in the room here regarding the double garage extension. So we've received extensive correspondence and diagrams, etc., following a previously unsuccessful application. Does anyone have any comments that they want to raise in this forum regarding what they have read?
I mean, we supported the original.
We did, Dan, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've reviewed all of the documents, the new applications, an extension on the front of the building as opposed to a separate building, as the drawing and statement indicate, it's within the building line curve of Station Road there. Yeah, I haven't got any problem with it at all.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else got any comments to add or to support?
I agree with Dan. I think it's a very sympathetic development for the village. We didn't have a problem with it last time. I still don't have an issue with it. I wish we could get in that way.
Yes, it was a very thorough report which made it very easy to read. Thank you for that. Yes, I agree.
Okay, so thank you, Claire. Shall we have a proposer that we're comfortable as council to proceed with the adoption? So Chris to propose, second. Claire will second. I think her hand up went slightly quicker. All in favour? Fantastic, thank you very much. The next item is about the material change of use of land without planning permission, which is north-west of 2 Thrapston Road. The planning inspector has dismissed appeals made against enforcement notice issued at the end of September. Anybody want to comment on this item?
No, noted.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, they've been served with enforcement notice.
Yes.
Eviction, haven't they, from the site? So
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens on the other corner of the
yeah,
A14.
they can move the lorries to there. don't
Yes.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's somebody from
they?
Brington Gorse that has bought that small piece of woodland that is no longer woodland.
Yes. Right, yeah. Okay, there's no need to vote on anything on that. It's just, as you say, it's noted. Item number 3 in the subsection, to report on any other planning related matters. Have we received? Yes, Chris.
So there is one that is relatively late breaking, and that is 190 homes at Kimbolton
Yes.
that's proposed. Off the back of the 65 that are already going ahead on Stowe Road. It's interesting that those developments support each other. So the 65 properties and the 190 are either side of Stowe Road, just as you leave. Where we have potential issue in Catworth is access to services. We are heavily dependent on Kimbolton for GP surgeries, for schooling, shops. It's our local centre. So I think it would be appropriate, Catworth Parish Council, although it's not in catchment, it's not on our typical bit of land, I think it would be appropriate to send some comments in.
It's not just that, it's also 190 homes, assuming 2 cars going to work. Their quickest journey to the A14 is through us.
Yeah.
We've also got the construction traffic that will be going backwards and forwards, and a lot of that, because of the bad bends in Kimbolton itself, it will come either our way or through Spaldwick and Stowe. But and there will be a bit of a bun fight there, as there always is, because Stowe will say not us, Catworth will say not us, and a decision will be made at the planning stage on which route is the designated route for building materials. So we want to try and avoid that. The cut helps, and also as many cars parked on the high street helps, which is why we've always avoided going down double yellow lines, because we can make it difficult. But yes, so this is, where is it? The 190, that went into the local plan for Huntingdon, didn't it? It was part, it was a submission on the local, on the call for sites.
Yeah.
Was it adopted into the local plan for Kimbolton? Because I don't think
I don't believe it was at that time.
No, I mean obviously that doesn't prevent a straightforward planning permission going in. However, they will stand, I mean, the local plan, the Huntingdon local plan is not yet finalised, is it?
No, it's not.
So maybe they're trying to get it through because it will go to government, won't it?
Yeah.
It won't be decided by Huntingdon. I think it'll get appealed in straight to government. It'll be central decision.
I think that's
Along
true.
with the Gatwick-sized solar farm and everything else.
Would you, Chris, be prepared to liaise with the parish council in Kimbolton and understand how we can help and that we can get involved in what the timescales are, and then we can craft a reply that you can present to council, and then we can authorise accordingly. Great, thank you very much.
Jonathan Gray might be able to help you with that.
Okay. Any other points under planning? No? Okay. Combined district council and town parish council elections. These results have been published. Is there anything else that we need to really? It's in the public domain. Noted more than anything. Next point is the neighbourhood plan. Do we have a report from the neighbourhood plan? Anything beyond what we had in the annual assembly, which wasn't videoed, so we will incorporate the script from that. The first aid training course, to note that it was postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. It was carded for the 2nd of May. We will hopefully be able to do something and have that session in the future. Any other questions on that section?
No.
Comments? No. Finance. Dan, would you please provide an update on the N-Power rebate and the progress and the reprogramming that has recently taken place?
Okay, so we did finally get the rebate
We did? Yep.
of just shy of £3,500.
Yes.
The street lights have had their new photo cells installed. So I'm told. I didn't see them, but
Yes, I can
Oh.
confirm I observed them installing.
okay. So I've chased them for a copy of a delivery note or installation certificate, just to make sure that did everything go to plan? Are they all installed? Were there any that they couldn't do for whatever reason? And I've got nothing back from them
Okay.
at all. They're quite difficult to communicate with. I'll keep chasing them, and
Thank you.
obviously we won't pay them until we get that.
Yes.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you hadn't told me that they'd been and done it, I wouldn't know, because I don't stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning to check that the lights are now. Well, we might see tonight.
Well, hopefully, for the benefit of the tape, hopefully not.
Okay, so with regards to ongoing energy costs, I need to know that they were all installed,
Yes.
otherwise I'm making a false submission.
Yes.
Need to go
Fair
back.
comment. Yep.
So I need to know that all of them have got the new photo cells.
Yep.
Then I can I can amend my mega spreadsheet,
Yes.
and then we'll get a certificate of the deemed usage with further reduced energy costs.
Great.
I can't do any more until
You have that confirmation from them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for continuing to progress this topic. I've just got one question for you. Do we know, can you just precise to us, subject to their confirmation, but the precise time period that the lights are to be turned off?
Yeah, so they'll go off at midnight.
Yep.
And they'll come back on at dawn.
At dawn. Okay.
Or, yes.
Okay.
Just prior, yeah.
Just prior to dawn.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not intelligent enough to go with the daylight saving hour, so they'll be out of sync
For half the year. Yeah. Okay. Great. As I say, good news. Any questions for Dan? No. We'll cover the payment of the invoice after. Then it's to note the bank reconciliation. The bank balance as at the end of April is 33,139.97, as you can see on there, and there's a movement between the 1st of April and the end of April by nature, which shows the material refund of the electricity, which netted off against one of the invoices that we owed, and the precept for 26/27, and then the agreed costs that from the previous meeting that have been paid as well. Any questions on that? No.
So the direct debit's set up now, that's correct?
Just going to come to that.
That's right.
Yeah, just going to come to that. So we've got some payments that are recorded, as you can see, to make. So just to be clear on here, the first item is the defibrillator. So you'll notice it says year 3. This is the machine that is located on the village hall wall, where the first year was paid by the village hall. The second year, which was this time last year, was paid by the parish council, and the proposal is that parish council pay the third year. We also have a defibrillator, which is in the old red phone box, which we've had for the last 7 years. And they're slightly different periods of time. So we've corresponded with the village hall. They are not passing any other, I'm using that term loosely, passing on any cost, because they are insuring it as well, which is good. So although it wasn't minuted last year as to why we were paying it, the proposal is that in the benefit of the community, that the parish council will fund that. We have the provision in the accounts that we prepared for budget, so I propose that we're happy to pay that invoice. I spoke to them on Tuesday to discuss the differences, so just to be clear as to why that appears there. Then there's the N-Power street lighting for the month of March, and going forward we've set up the direct debit so we don't miss the payment dates and find ourselves in the situation that we were last year. Then the next item is the cleaning of the war memorial for £600, which was mentioned earlier this evening. Just to be precise on this, because it's a village asset, which is in our fixed asset register as well, and we insure it, although it does say there's a proposal from the charity to reimburse, my proposal is we've got the funds for it, we should not be asking the charity to fund it. And that when we come to the charity, I will give some further details as well, but I'm happy for the council to fund that as well. And then there's the peripherals of some printing costs, and then the grass cutting. Do we all agree that those payments can be made? Yes. Do I need a proposer for those payments? Looking around, yes, Claire proposed, second by Dan. In terms of setting up the payments, that would usually be the clerk, but the clerk is not on the banking system at the moment. So Dan, if I can ask you please to set up the payments, and then Janine will validate one payment. I'm happy to do the other payment as well.
So I think one's due today, isn't it, and one tomorrow?
Yes, so we have contacted the people to advise them of the nature of when payments are validated. So, Dan, if you could just kindly inform us when you get the chance to do that, that would be terrific. And just going back to the point regarding the light installation, we will not pay that, although we validated it in March, because we are waiting for some further information. Okay, there's a couple of other sections that we just need to consider. So and notes, the precept of 21,000 as it shows in the bank statement, bank movement was received. War Memorial, we've just noted and approved that payment. There's the annual donation that the Parish Council makes to the church as a contribution to the lighting in the churchyard has been at £50 for a number of years, and I propose that we make that same contribution this year. Can I have can somebody propose? Yes, Chris, seconded. Claire, thank you. All agreed? Yes, thank you. To note that the insurance schedule with Gallagher's has been sent, and we're waiting for their response. There's some things that we have bought since last year, and some things that just need to be added, and some of the values to be considered as well. And then there's the clerk's renewal of the SLCC membership, which from memory was shared between 4 parish councils, but now because we have our own dedicated clerk, we need to ensure that that is done. I don't have the value to hand, unfortunately, but we can find that out then for approval at next meeting. And something that we've noticed is that a lot of two-factor authenticity is required, which needs a dedicated SIM card. So rather than relying on personal phones, so I think the SIM. Can somebody tell me how much the SIM was?
It was £4.50 per month.
£4.50 a month.
Yeah, well,
Okay, which is, in my view, is needed to ensure that we achieve our deadlines for HMRC filings, etc. So I'm happy to approve that verbally now, but if we can note it for next meeting, and then we'll put it to approval. Whose name is that in, or how does it work precisely?
Is it eSIM or a physical SIM?
it's an eSIM.
Yeah,
It's an eSIM, okay.
So we can just turn it off
Yeah.
if we ever need to.
Okay,
You can turn it off and you can transfer
Transfer.
it.
Yeah.
right.
So I think it's in your name.
The emails certainly come to the clerk
Yeah.
for it, so yeah.
Okay, and how would you get billed by that? Is it in the name of the clerk, or is it in the name of... Well, let's find out some
Councillor
more.
Bell's
It's in
side
the
as
name of
well,
the
so.
clerk.
Okay, so we could do that and pay it retrospectively each month, perhaps? Is
Yes.
that, yeah? Okay, could you put... so it's an agenda item next month, and then
Yeah.
we'll put it through a regular payment then. Audits are... the internal audit will take place on the 28th, which myself and the clerk will attend, and then we will need to arrange for the external audit, which, because our expenditure exceeded £25,000. Next item is the review and approval of parish council policies. There's a couple of updates that were required. So one which I prepared for the financial regulations, which has previously been circulated. Your comments have been adopted, and is there anybody want to make any comment on any of the updates that were made? No. So
Only to approve it.
only to approve it. So can I have a proposer, a seconder? All in favour?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item is the financial risk assessment. This is specifically on the financial aspects of running the council, and then the global risk assessment, and then there's the fixed asset register, which is linked to that as well. I prepared that schedule. I've incorporated the feedback that I've received, so thank you for that, and thank you for reading it. Proposer to adopt, Dan, seconded by Chris. All in favour? Fantastic, thank you. Next one is the MVAS risk assessment, which is updated by Councillor Oliver Bristol and circulated by the clerk to councillors for approval. I'm going to pause here because I don't personally remember seeing this one, but
Made some modifications.
Yeah,
I may have missed that one.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I'd like to approve it.
So proposed by Dan, seconded by Chris, all approved.
I'd say the only thing we need to do is the risk assessment matrices in the different documents. Some of the terminology is not identical.
Right, sorry, should we... right, okay.
For next year,
Yes, good point, okay.
use this uniform terminology through your mind.
Yes, perhaps we can set a calendar date that we can specifically review that by as well.
Yeah,
No, thank you, Dan.
yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
That's just an opportunity for improvement next year. Anyway.
Absolutely,
Caution.
yeah. Good point, thank you very much. The next point is point 4, policy for meetings with developers pre and post application. Dan, could you give us an update on that one?
Yep, so I've reviewed that.
Okay.
And as you reviewed it initially, and there's no requirement
No,
for any change.
it's a new one anyway, and we copied and pasted it from something that had been Yale, Buckden,
Yeah.
Okay,
but it's now gone across, I think, all the parishes that Ramuna had.
right, okay.
And
Efficiency,
it's got all
yeah.
the basics there. I
Okay.
didn't change anything because I wasn't sure if we were going for uniform format.
Yes,
The content
Which we
is spot on.
the content, we're happy with the
Yeah.
Yes,
content.
Happy with the
the
content.
content has been fully
Yeah, so
reviewed
we
now,
can-
don't you?
Great, okay. A proposer to adopt that?
probably won't, just because of what
Because you,
might come up later. It might not look great.
Okay,
No.
I'll propose it.
okay, seconded, all approved? Yep, okay, thank you very much. Policy reviews for 2026, consider a programme of policy reviews for the forthcoming year. Yes, I think now that we've been going through many policies in the last few months, and now that we've got a period whereby we can reflect on what needs to be done rather than is desirable as well. It's more of a case of let's have a review. But yeah, fair comment, and we'll note that carry forward.
A break for a bit would be good from those, to be honest.
Yes, it's been quite extensive. Yeah.
The next annual review would be September for any of the policies. That's the next,
Okay.
the first date that any of them
Yeah, and it was
comes
quite
on.
intense though, wasn't it? Because there's a lot.
But the only reviews now going forward for this year would be any legislative changes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Changes that would come in.
But you
Yes.
have, you have to review them though, don't you?
Yeah,
I
I mean,
might ask that question.
Yeah.
They have to be.
Yeah, but it's only a date change. Unless they need changing to keep up with the law or advice from NAMC or CAPAR.
My personal opinion is that they're in a much better state than they've ever been,
Yeah.
and that's down to the excellent work that's been performed by everybody here, plus the two councillors that are not here as well. So yes, they do need reviewing, and then adopted again at the forthcoming meeting. So yeah, hopefully it should be a lighter review, as you say. Maybe aligning the appropriate terminology so it's uniform and consistent, as Dan mentioned, and as you mentioned, the formatting. Yeah. Okay, but the content is good. Okay, thank you. Point 21, adoption and approval of new policies with a new clerk's employment. So, home workers risk assessment, and this was carried over from last month's meeting for approval.
I think that's the need some work on it, Jeff.
Right, who was carded to do that?
I think
Can we-
Leslie was going to take a look at it, but I think she's been...
Okay, well, I'll have a look at.
I had a quick look at it today, and I just thought, well, yes, it really does need some work. It's mentioning like things from the days of COVID that
Right,
need
okay.
altering. So,
Okay.
for us to take a look at.
If you're happy to do a first review, and
Yes,
then I'm
absolutely.
happy to, we can
Yeah.
look at that together, and then we
Agenda for next month?
yes,
Yeah.
yep. Okay. Highways, grass cutting. So new contractor, Nature Space Cambridge. I don't know who's. There was some confusion about which areas have been missed from memory. Does anybody have anything to? I don't know who's prepared a report per
Ollie's
se.
dealing with it, and as he's not here, may I suggest we pop it on the agenda for next month?
Absolutely.
Because there was some backward and forward about, does it include Church Lane?
Yes.
et
Yeah. Let's defer that to next month. Thank you very
One
much.
thing I would note though, the map that is in former and table is at least 40 years old because our property is not on.
Right.
cetera.
Yeah.
We were asked then.
And it's just been overwritten with, so they just crossed out the writing on it.
Yes.
And so Ollie's producing a new one.
Fantastic.
So I did see him on the morning of the cutting, the last cut. He
Okay.
was going to meet the grass cutting chaps with the map
Good.
at 7:30 in the morning. So yes, he's met with them, and yeah, it caused a bit of excitement, didn't it? I think temporarily.
That's yes.
So can I,
Unnecessary.
I mean, this is probably something that's been done, but, so Dan did it before, your brother-in-law, and I suspect that because it's the buttons, that there was some stuff that was done and paid for under contract. There was also quite a lot of other bits that were just done out of very goodwill, and the fact that they're a
Yeah,
family.
that's what we needed to make sure.
Yes.
So actually the bits which I was asked to confirm were on the map,
Yeah.
so they were missed.
Ah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And Dan's had a look at it, has he? And Oh, not
So
you down, the other
the
down.
public comment was from, so he was the one who pointed out
Ah, okay, yeah,
to
yeah.
me
That's, I was just
the
hoping
bits that
that,
had been there. I didn't want to say that, but there you go.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was the former grass cutter said, I noticed they've missed that bit and that bit and that bit.
Well, of course, of course.
In the interest of the village, obviously.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we wait for Ollie to report back next month, and then we will ensure that we are paying for what we should be paying for and nothing is missed. Okay. HGV watch, Janine, would you like to update us on the...
Yes, just a very brief update. I need to catch up with the speed watch team. The only thing that I can add is that I have been in touch with the police who confirmed that the training, once they've delivered the training, any people that have attended that training will then be able to train any other people that join the group. So that may well help get some more people on board, and we can then just hopefully grow with that. I'll come down to. Thank you.
Great, thank you. The close pass campaign regarding temporary, to decide on locations for temporary signage within the 30-mile-an-hour speed limits where cyclists tend to feel more vulnerable to close passes. Who's leading this one? I'm sorry, I'm not necessarily up to speed on this topic.
I don't think anyone's leading
I think
it.
it was to try
No.
and suggest locations to that would be good for the signage.
Okay,
I think that was from our last meeting, Jeff.
okay.
But were any locations discussed last time?
I think last time we just sort of discussed whether we were going to consider adopting the scheme, and then it was proposed that we perhaps discuss locations on the agenda of this meeting or moving forward.
These are road signs, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Because we've got an awful lot already, haven't we?
They're temporary road signs, as just part of this campaign, just to remind people to keep their distance around
I mean,
cyclists.
the cut.
Yes, that's the obvious
That's
one.
the obvious one.
Hmm.
Yeah. The high street too big, but it's probably too congested already.
Yeah.
Leaving the village and east access towards Kimbolton as vehicles fail.
Yeah. Also exacerbated, but where the road has fallen away,
Mm.
because the cyclists can't tuck themselves in
No.
if people don't overtake them properly and actually whiz past them while there's something on the other side of the road. They could end up in one of those potholes that have been caused by the N-Power traffic lights and the big vehicles, going right on the edge of the road.
So, looking at the previous minutes, did we register an interest with the
Yes.
campaign? We did.
And
Fantastic.
that's where this requirement to
Es-
the signage. I
escalates
think
on.
it's
Okay.
by the beginning of June they would quite like something. And then they're
Right.
going to have a media pack that they will send out as well with posters and such to
Okay,
to
so
promote it.
I don't know what the actual signs look like, how big they are, or that's the thing. We've got to try and work
The-
out a location, suitable location for them.
yes,
Do they attach to poles, or are they self-standing on a...
I have.
There's no information being
No.
provided on
On
that.
the end-bus, on the end-bus pole, underneath, if
Yeah.
they attach.
Yeah, we probably need a bit more information, don't
I agree.
I can follow it up.
we? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Of course, we've got the 40-mile-an-hour poles as well now, haven't we?
Mm. But as you noted last time, we're back into good weather, so there's a lot of cyclists around, and
It's the route also for a lot of the racing, isn't
absolutely, yeah.
I can follow up, but we do need to get back to them before our next meeting. Is there a limit on what sort of signs you would be prepared to consider? What type of signs? I imagine they're like posters. To be honest.
Yeah, so we just strap it to a pole.
I imagine.
Yeah,
I don't know, but if it was that,
Yeah, if it was that.
would that
so
be
there's
acceptable?
The end-bus pole, just as you
Yeah.
about to come into the cut, we could go on there.
I'd be
There's
happy
also
to
an
leave that
end-bus
to your
one.
judgment,
Yeah.
Victoria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps wherever we were doing last fall.
So that's not there, I don't think anyone would really see them, would they? If you're driving at 20 or 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope they would be as big as that board, but portrait.
Yeah, something look into that.
Mm.
Are you okay for me to have a quick look online just to see how big these are? Is that okay?
You can.
Just I'll be.
Maybe they have different sizes for different
Yeah.
They weren't particularly forthcoming with information when I contacted them.
Not very clear. It's about giving one and a half. Let's ask. Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, we're speculating.
Yes. It looks as if advising to keep 1.5 metres distance from, as we would expect. Okay. Next point is the A14 junction 13 to 21 safety advisory group meeting. Chris, you
So
a
this
brief
is a,
update.
this is a meeting of all interested parties, so it's predominantly parish councils along the route of the A14 between junction 13 and junction 21. There was some discussion about a temporary trial closure of the central reservation cut through at Ellington and the farm just before you get to Thrapston, potentially to see what impact that had on traffic, associated safety. One of the comments that keeps coming back is they're not getting good quality accident or closure or breakdown of information, and they're reliant on the information such as that, what's it called, something 19 that the police use. There's a published set of records anyway that only have killed or serious injury. They're not enough fidelity. So there is another parish councillor in Brinton Moresworth, I think, and Keystone, and he is on the parish council website. He's created a form that will automatically email and collect for members of the public to report any incidents on the A14. He is suggesting rolling that out across all the parishes, but the problem is who's going to receive it, who's going to manage it, who's going to look after it. I think it needs a bit more consideration before we get involved. Two of the things that Councillor Gardner have raised, the split in the carriageways where they've been resurfaced all the way along the section over the A14, and particularly either side gives a rough braking surface. So I've asked them to look at that. Councillor Gardner is looking at that. And the two things that didn't come up there were I've asked them to put possible queuing traffic warning signs on the back of the existing signage as you come off the A14 that warns you that there's dual direction traffic. It's currently blank at the back, and I've suggested that as you turn onto the A14, a lot of traffic is assuming you, behind you is assuming you're clear and you've moved off, and they're concentrating on looking at what's coming out there. And I've had a couple of near accidents, and I know other people have that, so I suggested that that might be something that we could, the highways team could consider. They're going to look into that and come back to us. And then they were very interested in the severance of the public rights of way when the A14 was built, because there's nothing until you get to the junction 16 bridge for crossing, and it's very, very dangerous.
There's two bridleways that go across, down sort of Little Catworth, and
Yep.
then just past the Fox.
The one past the Fox, I think, does it have a bridge?
No, there is no bridge until you get to Bythorn, and there's a farm bridge over, which is a separate bridleway, but there was a bridleway straight across just the other side of the Fox.
Absolutely.
And that still exists, and there is signage for it. There's a horse sign.
It's incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine taking a horse over there.
So potentially there was chat about taking pedestrians along the A14 until they could get off onto the bridge at junction 16, which I think would still be fairly dangerous. You know, keeping pedestrians away from vehicles in that short space of time, short space.
Well, there's a footpath. I know cyclists use it along the A14 to Spaldwick.
I gather they are legally allowed to. I don't think I fancy it.
Mm.
So,
So I will keep on with that.
Great, thank you very much for continuing to represent our thoughts on that, Chris.
Sorry, just one thing.
Yep.
Would you be able to raise at the next meeting you have with them they closed the road for a lengthy period last year to improve and clear the gully, which after a small bit of rain today is completely blocked all the way along from Catworth back towards Spaldwick.
So that did come up, and
It's got standing water in it, and they closed it for like 6 weeks to
They
sort
did,
that
yeah.
out.
they were suggesting that the biggest problem they've got there is movement of hay locally that blocks the drainage.
Yeah.
yes, the straw lorries as well, isn't it, like we have in the
Yeah.
High Street?
Mm.
But they know that though.
Yes, they do.
So to go down to one lane once a month to just hoover out the straw, or wait till we get heavy rain and it floods across the road and someone hits it at 70 and smashes and writes themselves off. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, thank you, John. I will
That's just, yeah, and we haven't had a lot of rain, have we?
No.
It
No.
rained a bit today.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
true.
noticed
compared to last
when I was driving back, all that effort they went to.
Yes, it was
no
extensive, wasn't it?
The
Yeah.
other issue they had there is it was very, very unpopular, the length of the road closure.
different.
They got a lot of complaints about that, so they're keen not to need to close the roads quite such a lengthy time.
Yeah.
But I will raise it.
Thank you. Section 23, councillor reports, footpath group working party. There's nothing to report. We've covered off some elements of that earlier. MVAS to note the sign is due to be relocated and the data has been received by the clerk for the period 13th of November to the 9th of Feb, and from the 24th of Feb to the 11th of April. So we are probably in a position that we can probably start looking at that MVAS data in a little bit more detail now that things have settled down in other areas. So let's defer that to next month in terms of looking for volunteers to report on that, because personally I'm quite keen to share that data. I know you and I, Dan, talked about it before, and be transparent with it, provided the data is accurate and is robust. Next item, trees and hedges, to note and discuss ongoing work with the agencies regarding tree felling on land located southwest of junction 16. We will receive an update when available. I don't think there's anything else that we need to discuss on that.
Not particularly. I contacted Forestry Commission, Police, Anglian Water, HDC, and there's been limited things have come back to me. I've provided further information about the location, but there's been nothing subsequent.
And District Councillor also was involved
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the water side, when I passed it just over a week ago, it's very, if you come from Thrapston, you can see clearly, because it's almost though they've cleared an entranceway onto the A14. They haven't, I think it's a bank. But the whole thing was, it was like they were irrigating with sprinklers. But where they they've connected a water supply, I wonder if it's just leaking. Because there were jets everywhere in there.
Oh, crikey, I didn't realise. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if reporting a sort of like a water leak would be.
Yeah, so at the last meeting it was discussed about the water connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was indicated that possibly they've just done that.
Possibly.
So that was being investigated, I think, by Jonathan Gray.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Winter gritting, the to and fro, we discussed it briefly earlier. Thanks for your perseverance, Chris. It's been quite a difficult and challenge to get a simple answer to a straightforward question. How optimistic are you now that we're obviously out of the gritting season for making sure they're replenished for next winter?
I'm confident that the new officer will be willing to meet.
Okay.
So Councillor Garden is going to set that meeting up.
Great, good to hear. Thank you. Highways, works and issues, Janine and Chris again, anything that we need to share?
I've got a few little bits which I took off one network, which seem to be coming up over the next couple of months. Some of them are just lane closures, where I do think there is a full closure on the A14 as well. So lane closures coming up 26th to 27th of May, eastbound and westbound Ellington. Then we've got overnight closure westbound 22 Ellington to 13 Thrapston between the 22nd and 24th of June. Overnight works between 9 and 7. That states to be confirmed. Then also junction 22 Ellington to 16 Catworth, closure 27th of July to 30th of July on the westbound, 27th to 29th on the eastbound, and again overnight closures 9 till 7. It also looks like there is work in the pipeline around the Brampton Hut interchange, likely to be lane closures that may well impact traffic flow, because I think the closures might be through the daytime, so keep an eye on that one. No dates have been agreed for that as yet, so it's one for me to keep an eye on.
Okay.
But I think there will be partial closure on the A1 coming up to Brampton's Hut, stopping that traffic going onto the westbound, so that could affect people coming home at Catworth. There is one other thing which I picked up, which is Church Road, Catworth. Openreach showing us having planned works on Church Road, Catworth, 29th of June for 2 days between 9:30 and 5:30 with a road closure in place. So just along here again, like we had the other week. Again, also awaiting further confirmation pending further discussion with Cambridgeshire County Council. But that's in the pipeline as well.
A lot of dates and locations
I've got it all
to
written down,
absorb,
which
but
I'll
I'm
forward to
sure
Victoria,
Victoria
sorry.
can post
Yes.
on the appropriate mediums. Thank you.
I'll send it over to you. Thank you.
Yes. Good attempt at scribbling everything down there,
Oh, I'm
Victoria.
so sorry, I should have
That's,
said
no,
that.
that's fine. That's fine. Thank you very much. Anything else?
No.
No? Lovely. Thank you. And then litter pick last month.
Yes, again a report which I'll forward because I thought I already had. Apologies for that.
No.
So, village litter pick on the 11th of April. I'll just read it as it is. Despite the weather forecast promising cloudy skies and rain, luckily remained dry. We had an excellent turnout for the village litter pick with 15 volunteers kindly giving up their time to clear discarded rubbish from the village and its approaches. The group was divided to cover as large an area as possible, covering Church Road and Church End through the village to Little Catworth, along Station Road, including the road verges towards Kimbolton, along the High Street, through the cut and out along Fox Road and also Brook End. We managed to collectively gather 13 sacks of rubbish, further bag of bottles and cans which went for recycling, and also I think was it a hedge trimmer? Huge hedge trimmer I think we got. Rubbish was collected by HGC during the following week. Thank you to everyone involved. The help was, as always, very much appreciated.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Another, but I would defer this until next month. And give. But I would defer this until next month. And give Ollie the opportunity just to get a quote and see what condition it is, and then we make a decision. It's in our assets. It's not insured for a great value. There's an economic life, so we'll defer that if everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Can I just make 2 quick comments?
Of course you can.
Um,
Yeah.
when we met and spoke about it last time, I said that I wasn't really sure because I'd never really seen anyone sitting on the bench how it would be used.
Yeah.
However, when I was walking my dogs a couple of weeks ago, as I came out of the field, there were quite a few parents waiting for their kiddies to get off the bus, sitting on the pavement.
Ah,
And I
okay.
did wonder, yes, a bench, but would there be any option to relocate it to where that school bus now goes?
Yeah, on the corner.
That's a
Because I think it would get used there.
that's more appropriate location. Yeah.
You know, for mums to be sitting on the ground waiting for their kiddies.
Well, because there isn't a bus stop. The
No.
bus
No.
is the library now, but
Yes.
they do get picked up
But the
from
bus
there,
stops
don't they?
there,
Yeah.
so people do
Yes.
gather there. It's just a thought.
Yeah.
Well, that's an excellent point.
So, yeah,
Put it where it's going to be used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there is the grip bin there, isn't there, which would may cause an issue.
Yes, but I'd rather they sat on a bench. I'm sure you agree, rather than sitting on a grip bin as well.
The grip bin is mercifully lighted.
Yeah.
Which makes it even worse, as people could potentially fall through it. Okay, no, excellent. Let's
Yeah,
wait
that's
for
a good idea.
let's wait for Ollie to feedback. Any other points on the one of our two benches? No. Social media presence. So the clerk has been carded to discuss using a Facebook page rather than a profile for the parish council.
Yes. I have a little report. I will make it as fast as I can.
Okay.
So at present, there's a distinction between a Facebook profile and a Facebook page. So a profile is intended for an individual person, and a page is specifically designed for organisations such as parish councils. So by using a personal style Facebook profile like we do at the minute for the parish council, it creates a number of governance concerns. So these include reliance on a single individual's account, difficulty transferring control when councillors or clerks change, limited administrative access, there's record retention and transparency issues, and potential data protection risks. And importantly, Facebook's or Meta's own terms state that profiles should represent individuals and not organisations. So we are going against Meta's policies. Councils are expected to use pages. So the best practice would be a council-owned Facebook page with multiple administrators, council email addresses linked to the account, and clear social media and record retention arrangements. It's not a huge issue for audit or anything like that, but we could do better. And it also works better practically because residents can follow updates without having to become a friend. At the minute, to follow Catworth Parish Council, you have to friend request and become a friend of Catworth Parish Council. People could just follow, and we could disseminate information in a much better way if we had a page. Posts can remain fully public. Multiple councillors and officers can manage it securely. And as I said before, continuity would be maintained if personnel were to change. You could also have a group as well, but groups require moderators, and that's an extra workload, and I don't think anyone would want that. But the primary communication channel should really be a page. So I recommend that the council formally adopts and maintains a proper Facebook page as its official social media presence, with administrative arrangements in place to do that, and that we lose the profile that we have at the moment.
Sounds good.
We have a question from a member.
The audio's dropped out.
Can,
We have to close the meeting.
yeah, I propose
Oh,
that we
sorry, the
close
audio's
meeting.
dropped out. Is that what you're saying? Ah, Chris?
So, it seems all right this time. I'll keep a record of the backup record. We can sort it out later, but it's, I can see the meeting was made here.
Okay. Thank you, Victoria. To be honest with you, I don't know a great deal about Facebook, but from what you've said, it sounds sensible. Any questions before I ask a question to Victoria on that topic?
Is there a cost?
You've anticipated my question. Yeah, there's no cost.
No, it's just a different way of presenting ourselves,
Yeah,
a more appropriate way of presenting ourselves.
So we would remove our own profile that we currently have.
don't-
or,
All
or
we
does
use
that-
it for
no.
is to comment on the Catworth pages or
Yeah.
the village pages. So
Yeah.
we use it as a means to get information out that way, rather than having people come to us.
Yeah.
We go to them. We could still link stuff to
Okay.
village pages, but it would mean that we would have our own presence on
Okay.
Facebook.
Well, it's Chris.
Is this something, so I agree that it's a worthwhile thing to do. Is this something that would be better deferred until all councillors were present? I'm just thinking they may have a view.
I think that's a good idea, and if you could circulate that, and then it
Yeah.
gives us time. But as Dan asked the question regarding cost, in terms of the benefit, the cost and the benefits, obviously from a monetary aspect, there's not a good. If it helps us communicate and be more transparent and make sure that we get our voice out there, that people know how to contact us, it seems a logical and sensible.
We could build
Proposal.
a community online, which we can't at the minute. We can't build a community around us. We have to take our information elsewhere. We could get people in the village to follow, and then we'd have another channel to get information out.
Okay. So we'll defer that to next time, but thank you for raising it. And if you could
I'll send
share that with any other information that you feel is appropriate, so we can make a decision next time. Training, to receive councillors' reports on training received and webinars attended. I don't think there was any training, but there is some training coming up, isn't there, which people were keen to do.
As Janine pointed out, that's the day of the meeting.
Yeah,
Yes, which is unfortunate, isn't it?
Luckily you know what's going on.
and it's
So I would-
mandatory, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's done, so I'll clock back over.
Sounded really good. I'm working in the day, because there's 2 courses on the same day. Of course, we're busy in the daytime, and then the evening ones are in, so.
In terms of,
Can we change the meeting?
well, that's what I was going to suggest. Can we
Because
change the
we have
meeting?
to do that.
We
Right.
do, yeah.
Just by knock it back on Wednesday or something.
Yeah, the following Wednesday, which will be the 17th then. You're on holiday, okay. Does it have to be a Wednesday?
Could we shift it to the Thursday,
Following the training?
the day after?
I can't do the Thursday. Can't
So
do
I'm
the Tuesday.
looking at my phone
either.
just for the dates.
Okay.
So,
Is there not another version of the course running at alternate day?
I didn't see one advertised on what they sent. Doesn't mean they might not be there. I think there was only that one date on the
Mm.
email.
So the following week, the 18th, can people?
What I'm thinking is, would it be possible, Victoria, to go to ask Catworth, explain the situation, and see if they are giving alternative dates?
Yeah.
Or there is a different medium by which we can receive
Yeah, if it's
a
recorded.
copy of
Yeah.
it or
Yeah.
something that would
It's
save an
all
awful lot
online.
of alternative faff, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
If we could just ask that question first, and then perhaps we could make decisions by email. Would that be possible?
I don't see why not. We've got to be quite pragmatic about these things, haven't we? Okay, got some time.
So we could have a chat, email chat with, or WhatsApp or whatever.
Yeah.
If there is no alternative, we could
Yeah.
think we could look at maybe moving the meeting, but otherwise look at an alternative form of training.
Was it 6:30 to 8? Thursday.
Sorry?
6:30 to 8, wasn't it, I think?
Something like that, or to late.
Or we could just order it here before the meeting.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, delay the meeting would be easier than actually changing the date of the
And
meeting.
all of us do it at the same time on the projector.
Except that we need to bring coffee and sandwiches. More shortbread.
Yes, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Yeah.
So it's only an hour's delay.
And it's
Which if you've got a 5 o'clock start the following morning, Jeff, is going to be nasty, but
I'll try and adapt. Okay, let's go with that then, and then we rattle through the meeting, hopefully, after. We keep that then?
Yeah.
Everyone agree?
we're just going to go for that.
We'll go for the meeting,
Delay the meeting by
an hour.
and do the training.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, well done everyone. Thank you
Can we
very
put it
much.
on the big screen?
Yeah, we do it here.
Yes. Yeah, I'll ask the cinema club to host.
Perhaps we
With
need
the
to
bar.
check that it's of that format rather than like a Teams format, because if we're there like rent a crowd.
Hmm.
that would be
It's-
appropriate. I don't know.
It's online on Teams, so it's probably a case of we could just sit here on our own laptops with our headphones on. Everyone okay?
That will do
Yeah?
it at home, then
Victoria,
come
do you
down.
put our name down for that?
Or do it at home, yeah?
Yeah.
And we get
Oh, if we get a group discount if there's, no, there isn't more than 10, is there? It was 10 plus.
No, 10 plus, yeah.
we join with Brenton and stuff. Rent a crowd.
Yeah. Good thinking.
Well, we could ask the question, couldn't we?
Or, if we do it here, just one of us registers and we do it on the big screen and everyone else can watch it.
Yeah, we could all just look over the shoulder.
But
Yeah.
we probably don't get a certificate then, right?
Okay, there's lots of options, Victoria, for you to pursue. So
I
thank
think that we can do, just make a training log, everyone signs it to say that they were here.
How many ways can we cook eggs?
I was going to
It's
say,
just, because
then
it's
we'd have more
£45,
ones
isn't
change
it?
it
I
right.
think
Yes, yeah.
that goes from being insignificant to quite a lot of money if we all do it.
We've all got to do it, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's mandatory
Yes, it's
training.
mandatory, yeah.
Otherwise we're illegals.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go with that, Victoria.
What do we go with?
You register.
You register.
We'll use the big screen.
We can see if we can do it as a larger cohort, all in the same place at the same time, rather than having to do individually registering, which could possibly save a little bit of money, but that might be a little bit too creative for the provider.
I think we'd have to do that on our own back.
Yeah,
Yes.
'Cause
we'll
they
make
want-
the
they
phone
want
call.
money.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay,
I'll do
let's
something.
investigate what the possibilities are, but we keep the 10th meeting, delay it accordingly.
That's a firm decision, yeah?
That's a firm decision. Agreed. Do we need a proposer for that?
Yeah, we'll propose it.
Yes,
Second.
second.
We'll all
Right,
do it.
super duper, fantastic. Correspondence received. Well, there's a whole raft of correspondence that we received, so thank you for monitoring the excessive amounts of emails which come through, but again, it's good to be informed. Then we're on to item 28, which is councillor questions. Please note that no decisions can lawfully be made under this item. Business must be specified, therefore the council cannot lawfully raise matters for decision. I will go first. I've got a note here that Village Matters content is needed by the 15th, which is Friday. Thank you for those who contributed last month's Village Matters, which I received yesterday. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Victoria. We need some more. It's important that we're in there as well. Do we have any volunteers to write something?
Leslie says she's happy to, as long as we were to give her ideas for content.
Okay, I think we can concentrate on some ideas of content, which, off the top of my head, the village pick the annual assembly earlier today, for
I was gonna say
example.
we could make reference to the fact that all of the reports given in the annual assembly are on the parish council website.
Yes, yes,
You know, signpost that.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Great, thank you very much. Anyone for any other items? There is one other item which I'm aware of, but haven't managed to get access to. So I've seen it at the headlines, but Chris, did you manage to have a look at it in a bit more detail?
So I did, yes.
Thank you.
HDC have reevaluated the numbers for the local plan, and they've proposed across various villages 6 of the smaller plots. And in terms of Catworth, it's Fruit Field, the one opposite Victory Pavilion, is this something we want to comment on? And is it something that might be appropriate for next month's agenda?
So this is a revised thing, is it?
Yeah, so they've today issued an email out. I'll give you the backstory. So we didn't know anything about this until I saw Leslie's email. So obviously, yeah, so we obviously made our submission at the quarter sites,
Yeah.
and that's it. We've had no interaction with anybody at all since. So that's completely out of the blue for us as well.
Yeah.
So they've reviewed the draft, and they've come up, because it was all focused, wasn't it, on Huntingdon and St Ives basically.
It was. Yeah, I think we were actually surprised that we hadn't been.
Yeah, a lot of the
Because
villages were, I think.
we're expected to sort of kind of sacrifice once a decade, and because we were very focused on it, not wanting it to be Churchfield, and with the village survey, the Fruitfield was the village choice for a small development.
So, I think reiterating what you were saying, Dan, this is not a material change to what was proposed in the Catworth Act. It's the same numbers. It has been evaluated by various organisations and almost a risk score associated with it. Kind of a red, amber, green as to which ones can proceed and which ones have issues.
So what would the numbers-wise, what were they talking about? Because the village survey didn't fancy 40, they fancied more 15 to 20.
Okay, so I'll give you the background to that as well, because
Okay.
that came over completely wrong.
Yeah.
So the quarter sites, I can read the documentation, so I know exactly where that came from. So if you had land potentially available in the future, so obviously it has a size, and there's a national build density.
Yeah.
Okay, which
It wasn't a figure you picked, it came
no,
from
so
a...
they ask you what land have you got and what could you potentially put on it. So we know how big the field is. You plumb in the build density and it burps out a number. Obviously that's the maximum, so that's what we put in. But then when they presented it to the world, it came over like that, it looked greedy. That's how we felt. It looked, if we're honest.
I think quite a few of us thought that's done on acreage. That's what some table says.
There's a formula for it. That's where it came from. It wasn't us going, oh, let's put 100 on there, or there's a formula behind it.
So has the latest thing from HDC said potential number?
I think it's
20. It says 25 homes, and from what I could see online, there were, in terms of the feedback that's been received, there were 7 that were for supporting, 3 against, and 3 unsure of it. But the council were in support of that being what the preferred option out of the 7 sites that were submitted. And as you say, Dan, it was a surprise because some of us here have received those automatic notifications from and we've got a certain period, which is also by the 10th of June to respond. So that we need to make or have a discussion about what council want to do vis-a-vis replying to that option, which it may be that we do nothing, it may be that we resubmit. But the deadline is the magic 10th of June.
So, going by the village survey,
yes,
and what was felt that very much strongly came out of that, that people did not want Churchfield building on, and their preferred site for any development was the Fruitfield.
Absolutely.
Then I think that we should be going with that. It would help perhaps to consult with the neighbourhood plan.
Yes.
To make sure that we are aligned with that in what we say. Just
to refresh our memories as well.
But also that, they're almost really more qualified to respond because because we are supporting the neighbourhood plan and they will be putting forward their recommendation within it, I
Which is the
imagine.
view of the village, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is the view of the village
Yeah.
for a certain site. So what I'm saying is that somebody from the neighbourhood plan would almost be better qualified to draft this response
On-
than one of us who is not on the
Yeah,
neighbourhood plan.
bearing in mind the neighbourhood plan is a working group of the council, so it can come from their
Well, it will
input
come
to
from
us.
but they
Yes,
could draft
exactly.
it because we don't want to accidentally contradict anything.
No, that we've gleaned from the survey, as you say.
Yeah, because that's their working document. I haven't
Absolutely.
looked at it
Yes, it's good to refresh.
Yes.
The date is the 10th. The discussion is, do we need a meeting before then to adopt whatever recommendations come out
No, I
of the
think we
team?
can do it now. We can pop that draft when it comes on email, and we can agree that we are happy with the draft. But we can make the decision that a letter is to go by the 10th now.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. There is some time after the meeting on the 10th. I mean, it's midnight, it's tight. but
I know
there is
we've got
time.
training to do, but we can actually agree that we are going to respond now.
I don't see why not.
And we
We
can
yeah.
say actually you need to put a comma and in there by email.
Yes.
And when a draft is popped on
Yeah,
there. For
and we can
everybody to-
circulate that in
Is
advance.
everybody happy with the draft, etc.?
Yes. I think that's a very sensible idea, Claire, given the time, and also the method of communication is such that you'd only know if you had signed up to those alerts
Yeah.
as well, rather than
Yeah.
a formal letter coming through the post. But it's
And I didn't see it because I got three through today, which was about
So
the
did I.
Ramsey neighbourhood plan, which I thought, why on earth have I got that?
yes,
And it wasn't
You
until
know
Leslie.
Mr. Owen?
No, well then Leslie sent the message, and then
Yes.
I clicked back on one from earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
because there was one on the Alconbury neighbourhood
That's
plan
right,
as well,
yeah.
which was also quite encouraging, from given the fact that the consultant is the same. Okay, so we agree then that, Chris, would you mind submitting that after,
I'm happy once the wording's
once the wording's agreed, to submit that on the 10th? I'll liaise with neighbourhood plan to write something to present before the meeting on the 10th that we can agree in terms of the spirit and the rhythm and tone of the comments from council.
Yes.
obviously leave me out of that.
Of course,
Yeah,
yes.
you've got to
Yeah.
declare your vested interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I have already.
Yes.
I probably have to do it again, don't I?
Uh,
It was declared last year anyway,
yes.
as an ongoing.
Yeah. I think it's a good practice, as you say. Yeah. Okay. Good. Any other councillors' questions?
I've got one.
Yes, Dan.
I was approached by a member of the public from Croxton Gardens who had concerns that the little food waste bin was not being collected.
Yes.
Who do we report that to? As I'm a man of the people, you tell me.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Sorry, Victoria. Could you find out for us?
So,
Because there seems to be much confusion around the county anyway.
so they
regarding
collected it
these
the first
bins.
time, but the next two times,
Yeah.
apparently they drive down to Croxton Gardens to the end,
Yeah.
but it's the people, it goes round the corner.
Ah. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
None
yes,
of those
yeah.
have been
Yes.
collected.
Yeah.
So it's Mr Reynolds, the
Yes.
Reynolds family.
Yes.
Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's the route, isn't it? Because they collected yesterday, for example, but did they collect that person's?
I think it's HDC, and I think you
It
can
is.
just report
It's
on
just
a
Monday
small
if you
Yeah.
miss,
truck,
if
isn't
you're
it?
missed
Yeah.
in a collection,
Yeah.
they'll send someone out.
Okay, perhaps we can find out, and perhaps we could just, as a gesture of goodwill, post it on Facebook and just say,
Yeah,
here's a
that'd be good.
gentle reminder.
Engaging with the community.
Yes, and perhaps every week we can send a message saying it's Green Bin Day tomorrow. Right, thank you, Dan. Any other questions from us to us? No? Therefore, at 22:43, if there's nothing